mention as it was in a different way. It like Ben said, it was grim, but it wasn't like heart wrenching. Kind of like this kid went through so much, and that kid was actually like went through a lot of that stuff and got actual that was a whole different thing. When you see kids reunited with their parents and all sorts, I mean, I felt really sorry for the kids in the jail scene and all sorts, but yeah, it didn't make me cry, but I was sad throughout. And
I wanted to
anyway,
punch the son.
huh?
The bloke's son. I really wanted to punch.
Yeah,
The
but
thing,
but he's designed to be that way.
I know.
I know. So that's a whole another situation for the film. It's like they're like, oh man, these characters supposedly this is based off a real story anyway,
yeah,
and like with or no, it's based off real characters, but obviously because it's based off and not like a completely
okay.
like true story version, I have qualms about the story, and I'm like, that's probably why. Wait, Emmanuel, have you scored it yet?
No, I'm scoring it now.
Okay.
I was literally just
Yeah.
before you were saying it. I thought it was
Qualms, but I have problems with the story where I know it's based off a true story, but I have troubles with certain aspects of the story which I go bullshit. It's like no, it's like absolutely not.
interesting. We'll get into it. There was
Scrolls.
only really one main part that they changed, but it still has the same purpose. Um, but yeah, we'll get into it. Um, oh, what do I get? Nah, yeah, I'll score it like this for now. Can someone help me? Actually, I might actually be able to do the average by myself.
I'm on it now if you want me to.
Oh yes, please. If you could do the average, it'll be quicker for you to do it than me. Thanks, man.
It's good. There you go.
Sweet, there you go.
Man, this. Oh man. Wait, this. I'm just looking at the last few films. Interesting. It's like the kind of ratings. It's got the same. Yeah, it still has the same score. It's Interstellar.
Them's be fighting words.
Yeah, it's just like you guys have been mirthing all the mirthers in the mirth, right? Yeah.
I was
And
so
as I was talking to Pat, like I grew corn last year and I still had some kernels and some seeds. And because of watching it, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try corn again this year just to see if I can grow corn.
That's
Yes.
cool. Rachel's mum grows corn. Or at least she did last year. I don't know if she does it regularly.
Yeah. Bring out the corn dogs.
Corn dogs are fucking banging. I wish I had a corn dog.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good.
I now
it's
want
good.
TGI Fridays now.
Well, there was actually the other thing that you guys were talking about that made me really want to try it because I didn't think about it until you guys mentioned it, and somehow it popped up as an advert from my fucking phone. That fucking cookie from fucking Domino's.
Oh, that looks awful.
I didn't care about it until you guys mentioned it. Then I saw the advert on like Messenger. Then afterwards, after a while, I was just like on like Instagram, and it popped out as an advert on Instagram. I was like, I kind of want to try it now. It's in my head. You guys kept mentioning it. I'm like, do I want to try it? I kind of want to try it now. Fucking hell. You guys, you subliminally messaged all the subliminal stuff, but advert, and then you go, cream, egg, cookie. Oh, wait, no.
Next week, I'm probably going to get it because I'm coming back from Manchester quite late, so I need to grab something quickly, so I'll probably just order Domino's on the way home and I'm going to get that. But they've just recently added, for some bizarre reason, a lasagna pizza.
Oh, what?
Yeah. I think I'm going to stick with the cheeseburger pizza instead.
Okay, when you say okay, when I heard lasagna pizza, I mean like, is it like multiple pizzas stacked up together?
Yeah,
like lasagna.
I've taken a
Like
screenshot.
lasagna ingredients, like the pasta put on a pizza. I got confused for a second.
I feel
was
like if it's like multiple pizzas stacked up, then that's more accurate to call it like a cake, because it's
Yeah.
not like.
I've sent the
That's
picture
pretty
into
good.
the
Lasagna is a cake technically, as people have made the joke.
Oh, that's a. I mean, yeah, I suppose it is.
Every Italian everywhere
I
in the world right now
I
is
just
that.
find it really pointless. Like, where's that sheet of pasta with the lasagna cheese on it? It just doesn't really look like a lasagna.
Wait, it's a pizza with a sheet of pasta on it.
No, it's not. They don't have any of that.
Oh right.
It just looks like it's got like
A lot of cheese with some meat.
That looks like shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna stick with the cheeseburger. to
I've
be
not
honest.
seen that advert, and I don't need to, because every time I see food adverts, I go, I kind of want to try it to see if it's good or not. Because
I don't think you're gonna want to try this.
no, it's one of the ones, it's like the hamburger pizza, as we were talking about. It's like I tried it, I was like, it's not good. It's all right.
It
Yeah, okay.
looks worse.
I love it.
It was okay, but it's like I don't need to eat it again. Is what I'm saying. It's like it's not too bad. I don't have to eat it again if I don't have to. If I'm
Why-
like,
I'm surprised that they made this and photographed it and then thought, yeah, that's a good one to release.
mate, you'll be surprised. What it is.
My go-to Domino's pizza now is half the cheeseburger and then half that hot dog one.
Oh, dude, that's horrible.
It's actually pretty nice.
Mm.
The hot dog one, cool.
Not the one I
To be
can't,
honest,
son.
I'm probably with. I get where you're coming from. I think I might have liked it a little bit, but it's been too many years since I had it. To be honest, I think I had it like when it first came out.
I had the burger one and I was like, I shouldn't have done that. I've never done it since.
Well,
And I
Well-
do it once a month.
Yeah, I'd like my pizza. Yeah,
I
the classics.
Do you
I
have?
just love burger too much.
Well, that's a reason not to do that. Like it's not a good pizza or a good burger.
I think it's all right.
Ugh.
it's all right, but it's like not the greatest.
The
But
worst
we-
one was the
we
burger
know
crust from
you're-
Pizza Hut. That was awful.
Okay,
We
yes,
know
that
you're
one
quite-
was actually shit. Okay,
You're
I'll actually
quite
try that.
picky
That
with
was-
pizza though. You want your pizza as a pizza, not as another food
Oh, I
masquerading as a pizza.
Right, Mr.
Call me
Pizza
old-fashioned.
purist. You're like, I mean, like this experimentation. It really depends on what people have on a pizza is and their ice creams and shit. There's like you're gonna have some little artistic leeway. It doesn't have to be 100%. I just need cheese and tomatoes with more tomatoes. It's like, fucking. Yeah. Any case, talking about mix-ups and like random like stuff that happen together that are a mess of things. Emmanuel, why did you pick this film?
What a segue, bloody hell.
Uh,
Oh yeah, what an
fine.
abomination of pizza.
Right. Just before that, if anyone is, sorry, I have to introduce the film. You're going to start in here first. You sign in there first. Sorry. We have family coming over.
Oh,
Just what you call it? Just before that, I'm sure there's plenty of places to get hot dogs and like corn dogs. Sorry. If you are in Stratford though, there's like a Korean corn dog place.
oh yeah.
No,
there is.
no,
There
you're
is.
talking about Boonsik. And
Yeah.
Boonsik is like, oh no, it's like there's a corn dog and then there's a fucking corn dog with fucking fried potatoes and other shit that's on top of it. I don't need that.
The
I
only
mean, like-
time I've tried that was round the corner from yours, Simon.
Yeah, but it's like it's like a corn dog extreme or corn dog plus, and that's like
to the
if you
extreme.
it's well, I mean, like essentially, it's almost to the point where they could have corn dogs stuck with more corn dogs on top of it, and that's kind of like where they're going with it. And I'm like, it gets a bit too much, right? It's like,
yeah, I suppose to be fair, you are right. Like it's more like a hash brown dog than a corn dog.
yeah, but like, it's like some of the corn dogs toppings were like, oh, it's got like the cheese mochi things. I'm like, okay, that's fine because it's corn dog with cheese, and I was like, sure, that's actually that's acceptable. Corn dogs with corn dogs with corn dogs is gonna be too much next. It's gonna be it's just like we've gone too far.
It's corn dogception.
Yeah, conception. Yeah.
It's gonna be corn dogs, and afterwards they go wrap around the fucking lasagna pizza from Domino's, deep fry that, and put that on top of another corn dog. As you can be, no, what Frankenstein's bullshit have we made now? And it's like,
Do they spell the
all right.
corn dog with a K as well, like corn?
Oh yeah, actually, I think that's just how they do it for like language various reasons.
Podcast. We get every week to talk about food. What's your shirt
Sure.
this week, Simon?
What?
What's your shirt this week, Simon? And also Pat.
Oh, this guy is literally just doing this. Rock on.
That's just my Vegeta
drowning.
one.
Ah, nice. Good.
Just to do drowning or skeleton drowning doing this. Yeah. Okay. So,
Like almost skull looking, dead looking old person on your shirt. No, Ben's shirt. Ben, what is your shirt?
It's Mike.
Ben shirt.
Mike
What?
Ehrmantraut from Breaking Bad.
Oh,
We
cool.
like Mike.
No
more half measures.
Nice. Still need to watch that. But yeah,
Wait, you ever watched Breaking Bad?
no, not yet. It's still on
Oh,
my
wow.
to watch. I think I would like it. I just need to get around to actually watching it. But there you go. So why I picked this film? Well, like, I think all of you were here when I said it last time. Like, yeah, I like was planning on picking something else and realized, yeah, that wasn't so. Let me not pick that. I've almost finished that film. I'm Not Madame Bovary. Haven't finished it completely yet, but it's still pretty cool. Anyway, then I was searching through. I was like, you know what? I want to pick probably something either quite small in terms of the film, not something too big, or I want to pick something international or whatnot, or a mix of both, whatever. And I was going through my watch list. Like, you know what? While I have this, and we've recently all kind of done trials and stuff. Let me just see. And I was like, wait, Holy Spider, it's got serial killers. I haven't picked a film like that in quite a while, haven't I? Okay. Let me just see what it's like. And like, you know what? It should be decent. Okay, cool. It doesn't seem like too boring or whatever. Should be decent. Okay, cool. I'll pick this. And that was it. Saw some like, I guess some decent not talks about it, reviews or whatnot about it. And I was like, you know what? This seems like an interesting topic and an interesting premise. And yeah, let me watch this with everyone and see how it goes. And, yeah. Sorry if it was too grim for anyone. Something Alec was saying like reminded me, like, I think I've desensitized myself as well. Like, I was like, it was pretty dark and quite grim, but for some reason I expected worse. And I think it's like Ben warned me, and obviously everyone else talking about it. And I was just like, man, how bad is this film? Like, in terms of like grimness, it's like, okay, it's bad, but wait, but when I think about it, it was just really bad all the way through. Maybe I'm just desensitized.
It's no Willem Dafoe getting a big slab of concrete smacked into his dick. A lady cutting her clitoris off with some rusty scissors. It's hard to come back from.
Yeah.
Pass on to you guys is, yeah, I thought it was really, really great. And I think reading some of the kind of little facts about the film, I mean, appreciate a bit more. But yeah, it was, I thought it was really well done and really liked it. I say really liked it. I didn't enjoy it, but I thought it was good, really good. But yeah.
Yeah, I was really surprised in the week when you said that you didn't realise how gruesome it was, because I was like, how did you get to the point where you wanted to pick it before you realised that?
know me and pick and this like in a rush pick. I really
I just want to know how you keep doing it by accident. You're just like, oh no, I've tripped and fallen and I've found another horrible, horrible film.
I think it's probably partly because I'm like, here's a dark film, it's serious, and it's about an interesting premise that seems quite like gritty. But most of those type of films tend to be quite hard. Keeping them involved. So yeah, included.
Yeah, but I was about to say, because you've picked these. I mean, I don't know if did you pick Caping Them before you've watched? You didn't watch Caping Them before you watched it when you chose it, right?
No, I didn't watch Caping Them at all. I only read the synopsis.
So I mean, like, I feel like the next you do this at least once every few times. So all I know is I'm gonna see another film that's gonna be really fucking grim and depressing, and I'll be like watching it and be like, why did I not feel grim and disgusted? Oh, because I've watched 2 other films that are also fucking grim and depressing from you. It's just I feel like you've conditioned us not just to feel anymore. It's like fucking hell, this
Wow.
again.
What a quote! You've conditioned us not to feel.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Do you know, they actually they screened this at Worthing Film Club last year, and it's like I think it's like the second highest rated film that they've ever screened.
Oh.
Because they do like this thing where like when you leave, you rate the film out of 5, and yeah, on the leaderboard, this is number 2 at the moment.
What's number 1?
I can't remember. Let me have a look.
Because if number 1 is Antichrist, I feel like it just shows you the type of people who watch those films.
Oh no, number 1 is M, the Fritz Lang film from like 1931.
Oh right,
Interesting.
I do know of it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, I've
I
not
thought it was
seen
going to be the short-lived like indie classic, just like cutting my clitoris off with rusty scissors. No.
That's
That's quite a good one.
Yeah. Who else wants to get opening statements?
I'll quickly say mine, I guess. Yeah, I was like impressed with the storytelling in this one. It's quite, as we said, and as we'll probably keep continuing to say on this call, it's not a pleasant film at the slightest. It's quite a grim and disturbing movie, but it's still compelling despite that, and it's just one of those kind of like realistic dramas that kind of lures you in and makes you kind of disturbed and captivated in equal measure because of like I can't remember. I think you guys will have to tell me. Do they say it's a true story from the start, or do they say that at the end credits?
I don't think it's actually mentioned in the movie that it was based off a real story, which actually is a better thing for it because
No, it is.
We've because I know for us we've discussed that when people say based on a true story, we always get extra nitpicky about it. But because it didn't, it was like there were parts that were made up, and that's fine because it helps just portray the story that we were trying to portray, which was like the troubles and misogyny and all that other stuff. And that, but it was not actually ever mentioned that it was based on a true story. It might, I mean, if it was probably right at the end of the credits. Was it?
It does say it right at the end.
Well, damn. Okay.
I
Was
looked
that during the credits?
And yeah.
That's why I didn't know.
I looked it up, and the woman, the protagonist is actually like an invention. She's not actually a real person.
Yeah.
She's a surrogate audience, like watching the events unfold. I suppose
there was a woman who went and investigated stuff and covered it and all that, and made it sort of more known than that. So that's who it's based off of. But she never went and pretended to be a prostitute.
She didn't go into
fight for her life with him. Like that's all made up.
Yeah,
that's fair.
What that part is based off of is based off the one that got away. So instead of, the director was saying they didn't want to try and bring too many say real people, or link it to as many like real people, like try and not link it to as many real people as possible. And in that case, to focus more on the misogyny part of it, he had the journalist, the main character, actually be the one that got away and go undercover, to kind of, because the one that got away basically did the same thing and it achieved the same purpose. That was when he got caught.
Hmm.
She got away and went to the police, and then they came to get him.
Interesting. Yeah. So I think I kind of went in knowing that it was a true story. Whether or not that helped or hindered the film is another thing that we'll probably have to discuss. But it was an interesting experience because I think Pat mentioned it today actually with me, that it's kind of like a modern day Jack the Ripper. It's in a sense, it's just like a version of a character like that in the modern day context of using like religion as a kind of like, maybe that's what's the word for it, but using that as a kind of like a subterfuge of what their goal is, kind of thing, or using it as an excuse for their own hideous actions. So I found that really fascinating, compelling. Kind of like, one, it's kind of like it's something that you can imagine would happen in this day and age, in this current climate, but it's also still manages to be shocking as well. And I think it's the way the end, well, the way the end of this film goes is just, it's satisfying, but it's also still quite bleak. Just because I found like, yeah, you're rooting for this guy to get his desserts, kind of thing. The whole film is leading towards this, despite the fact that he's sympathized by having a family. He has a son, he has a daughter, and that humanizes him to an extent. But how he's kind of like been indoctrinated into his own like interpretation of the Quran is so terrible and so terrifying in its implications. It's it's a film that makes you think, and especially the ending, the way it ends on such a bleak, dour note, will always stick with me, because the way you see the camera footage of his son reenacting all those things he's learned from his dad, whether it's secondhand or what, either way, it doesn't matter. But it does kind of like gives me kind of like a grim feeling, and this sense of unease that shit, this is a true story that's happened, and it's still something that probably is happening right now. And going back all the way back to the Jack the Ripper times in the 1800s, it's like this is still not left our world. Our society still has people like this that feel that they can take the law into their own hands. They can feel that they can use God as an excuse to do these horrible things. So yeah, it's a film that makes you think, and a film that kind of like, you don't enjoy it, but you appreciate what it's trying to say. Yeah, that's my interpretation. But yeah, we'll go into this, but it's an interesting one.
Yeah. You reminded me of something Pat was saying, and I don't blame him for wanting to punch the kid. It's like when I saw the kid, especially when he's reenacting, and throughout the film, I really felt for the kid, because every time I saw that kid like trying to look up to his father, or kind of do what his father was kind of telling him to do, I saw a lot of like real life young guys who basically went through similar things, in terms of having their leaders and elders in similar situations in the Middle East tell them like, this is really important, this is what we should be doing, and kind of brainwashing them in that way, and getting them to do like these, like, or getting them to believe that these atrocious acts are like perfectly fine, that these are right to do. And I mean, I guess we saw it from a different angle, from an adult angle of, and what was the film? You're Not Me, or You're Me, the France. I forgot the name of my own film now.
Oh, You Resemble Me.
You,
Even-
yeah,
Oh, you as me, referring to you. Yeah.
yes.
It made me really sad, like seeing him. Like, I'm just like, man, like, yeah, that happens to so many people, like boys, and it's just like, it's so messed up. Yeah, just want to say that.
Disturbing.
Mhm.
We're all so shocked. I don't know what to say.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay. So I wasn't quite sure. I'm a bit of got a bit of lag, so I wasn't sure if you finished or not. Sorry. I was going to say, as an opening statement, this film was, as I think we all agree, just so grim. There's nothing else can really say the grimness of this film. It's just like, I don't enjoy what's all the context is happening. It's compelling to watch, like, how the story unfolds, but it's just dark and grim. There's points on the story because I can't quite agree on completely at all, because of, like, it doesn't make sense, especially now. But I know for a fact that the lady was completely made up. There's certain things that she did were just like, no, I don't agree with that at all. That absolutely does not make sense, even in the context of the movie. So I was like, can't agree. Everything else, though, all the acting and the character developments and the way that they did, like, the emotions of each character was quite interesting to see. Also know that this film got delayed because of COVID, but afterwards, when it first got re-released in like 2000 and when was this released? 2022.
Yeah, 22.
Yeah.
I heard that it got banned in Iran, or where it was supposed to be like released because of like issues about it, and I was like, oh right, it's the religious issues, and I was like, oh damn, that's
Well, that's an interesting thing about it, I think, is that all of the production companies that were involved in it and sort of everyone who financed it are European. So there's like French people, German people, like, yeah, people from all over Europe, but nobody from Iran is involved in it apart from the people who actually made it.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I was going to say, I swear I saw some Danish and Swedish names and production companies being involved in it. So I was assuming they filmed and financed most of it in Europe. With
all of it, yeah. And I think, yeah, the films from that kind of region are always interesting, because like I remember when Joyland came out, and like that's a Pakistani film about a transgender woman, and there was this big thing about them not being able to release the film in Pakistan, and about how, like, even though it was sort of Pakistan's entry to the international Oscar for that year, and like all of this stuff about how it was like, it's quite a big film for Pakistan, but it couldn't get released in Pakistan just because of what it was about. And it's always a bit of a sad thing. And I did wonder a little bit in this before I found out that it was financed by European companies, like whether the approach to it was to try and sort of like dilute it a little bit. Just because it's kind of like partly from the killer's point of view, and then partly critical of things like the religion and misogyny and like all of that kind of stuff that led the killer to do these things. So yeah, because it's kind of like a little bit of both, I did wonder whether that was an attempt to try and appease people enough to be released in its own country.
I mean, the act. So to kind of contribute to that, the director was Danish Iranian. So he was Danish and Iranian. The main actress was never intending to actually play it. She was the casting director.
Oh,
But
really?
one who was originally meant to play it, she got too scared
It
last
turns out
minute
it's quite an easy job when you're a casting director because you can go, I need someone who basically just looks like me. Oh, I'm here.
Oh man. But yeah, like they pulled out last minute being worried. There's reasons they would to be worried. I'll get into that in a minute. But worried about filming without the hijab on and what happened to her like after this film was like came out. It's yes, and after she then tried to cast, like she went through 50 more auditions, and in the end the director like tried to see her do it, and he's like, you know what, you're not exactly who I wanted, but actually the way you've done it and the way, because she brought some of her real life experiences into it, he's like, I want you to do it. So she ended up being the main the main character. But saying that, after the film came out, or after it was shown at Cannes and she got the kind of best actress, um um I might be saying the wrong award wrong, but she got like a best actress award for it. And after that, she got hundreds of death threats, as well as pretty much everyone involved in the film, director, but and other people. But the director and her got the most death threats. And yeah, Iran did make public statements, like their government made public statements about the film, calling it blasphemy and all sorts of stuff. It was mad. Like, in what kind of makes me think in another way as well. Originally, they wanted to shoot it in Iran, which seems mad when something probably would have happened to them. So then they ended up trying to shoot it in Jordan, and like you said, you with the COVID stuff, it got delayed or whatnot. But then they was like, not quite, almost. They sorry. Then they tried to shoot it in Turkey, but just before they got approval, Iran interfered and got involved. Was like, no, you are not shooting this. They didn't want them to shoot the film at all. So they went back to Jordan, who were like, yeah, you can shoot the film. Oh man. Sorry, that was all I was gonna say. Sorry.
You look like you're on like the edge of saying something, Simon. I don't know if it's because you're eating.
A and B, I was going to say, it's a very, very religious context film, I guess is the right way to say that. There's a lot of religion like based stuff in this film, especially with him quoting Quran and with like the clergyman and all that other stuff. So I was just like, it's religiously like yeah, because it's religiously based and like because it has that bias there. Anyone who does the filming in the literal holy city is a bit iffy. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's like, I don't think like if there was a movie about the Pope, they would actually allow you to film in Vatican City. Maybe.
Wow.
Well, yeah, okay. Anyway, how about you two? Anyone else for like opening statements?
Who's done this?
It's either yourself, Pat, or Alec.
Okay. I think unlike some people that have seen it, like I actually really enjoyed it in terms of just the way it was all put together. Like I watched it more of a like a detective thing. And where the dialogue was really easy to follow. I was saying just before the call started, it was like I could take my eye off it for a couple of seconds and not lose where I was. Where we have seen some some foreign language films where if I take my eye off it for a split second, I'm like, what's happened? I thought the setup of the whole thing was really well done. Like the first sort of scene of the film, I was like, what the fuck is Emmanuel picked this time? But I suppose it just sort of sets up what it was all going to be about. Like, and like what Ben was saying, we had a chat on the way home earlier, where I felt like there was something about it felt like it was inspired by Jack the Ripper, whether it was the film itself, because I thought I didn't know it was based off of something factual, or obviously the situation in real life. But it sort of felt like out of the folklore of Jack the Ripper at times. But I thought it was really well written, really well acted. Yeah, I think it was a pretty damn good film. And that's me.
What you thinking?
What did you say, man?
Oh, I said it's Alex in it. I said, Alex, what you thinking?
Oh, right. Oh, you said point taken.
Yeah, it good.
Seems to be all we're getting on that one.
What did Eb think? What you said was interesting. I found it interesting.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
Oh, okay. I was it's like, I'm interested to see what she thinks. But it's not a film I would like just go and recommend to people.
Yeah, no, it isn't really.
Well, she quite likes serial killer stuff, and she quite likes it when it's about killing women. So I thought it was a slam dunk, personally. But no, didn't fancy it.
What did she think? That's not a serial killer. What did
Hmm?
she think? The original. It's not a serial killer, but what did she think about the original Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series?
I'm not sure. I'll ask her.
I was wondering because that whole kind of trilogy is all about violence towards women, and obviously how the main character is fighting against that. I mean, I don't, yeah, but yeah, just interesting. Cool.
Didn't say.
But, were there any like, I think it was interesting hearing some of the things they said throughout the film because there'd be certain terms and whatnot I might have heard at one point but I'm not really properly familiar with or know exactly the meaning behind them. So there were points throughout the film I'd stop and read it and be like, okay, I understand a bit about the morality police, but who really are they? Like, how did they come about? Like, why were they put together in the 70s and all this kind of stuff that came about with them? They're kind of militia or kind of, I forgot what it's called, that the spider killer, is it Holy Spider? That's it. That the Holy Spider was part of. Like, what happened there? Like that kind of war, what kind of background did he have?
Do you
That
mean the Islamic Republic?
Yeah, I was about to say him being a soldier was because he was part of like the Iran-Iraq war, and he was part of the like front line. Well, I say front lines. He was part of that group but of course, as he says, everyone else that he knew died, but he didn't. It's kind of like one of like the moral parts of why he became the Holy Spider Killer guy, because it's like his like holy like redemption journey thing, and that's kind of the reason why it's killing. But if you talk about like the morality police, I like those are just cops that have to do dress code and control women to see if they're like dressed like a certain way or people are doing certain things, because they're just police officers in the most literal sense, Emmanuel.
Oh yeah, they yeah, and they came about like in the 70s, like with the revolution and whatnot, and because obviously it all ties in together, and like how he was part of the Basij, like you were saying, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps kind of thing, but also the fact that how they were saying near the beginning, there was like people wondering, is this a fatwa? And I was like, what does that mean? And I was just like, oh, it's in the past obviously was different, but in the past it was like very strict laws that or strict statements they would make out to people. And if they didn't do them, there were very serious repercussions. But in more modern times, it's more suggestions that they'll put out public wise. And there's been multiple ones that have, I can't think of any that at the moment, and multiple ones with what's it, controversial. Sorry, I just take a call. Sorry.
No worries. Man.
Okay. Morality police and all that stuff is actually the reason why I gave it story for 7. More precisely, if we know that morality police and stuff like that exists in this place, why she didn't have why our main character, the journalist lady, didn't have a male chaperone earlier in the story doesn't make sense. Completely doesn't make sense, because like
But she
when
didn't
they
want one.
I mean, like she didn't want one, but she then afterwards she got one from like the other police guy. Well, no, the other guy from the newspaper anyway. So it becomes like you could have got one earlier, even if you say you didn't want one. You could have got any guy that she could have been okay and friendly with, and pretended to be her husband or her brother or some shit, just to go into the hotel and stuff, because you know you're going to a country where women are kind of like considered like kind of second class people. If you know this because you're a journalist and you're doing studies and you've done like research on this place, you know this. It's kind of literally what you're knowing, and it's kind of the thing that you know about because you've done the research about it. It's literally what you're doing because you're a journalist. You could have known better to know like to have a chaperone with her earlier. And I'm thinking like that's because she almost didn't get that hotel room, and this whole story almost didn't happen because she had to go, oh, I don't have a room. I'll tell you now, I'm a journalist. If you don't give me a room, we'll see what happens with the story, right? Then afterwards, they were like, oh, right, actually, we do have a room. And like everything, like just from that point on earlier, it could have been like, you could have been a lot more safer. You could have had that scummy fucking police. Oh, was you a police captain or police chief? The guy who was smoking. I can't remember. Yeah, he wouldn't. I mean, he could have came into the room, but there was another guy there. It would have been she would have been safer, in like in a sense, like you know what I mean. And it's just like everything.
She doesn't trust men though.
Yes,
So,
but it's like
so she could have brought a bloke in with the police chief, and instead of protecting her, she just gets gangbanged.
With someone that she trusted already.
She doesn't trust.
Yeah,
she
but
doesn't trust men.
Yeah, she said she barely
she doesn't trust men, but she then afterwards she still goes with like the other like newspaper editor, and that is her chaperone for later of the movie.
Out of necessity.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, but like out of necessity from beforehand could have happened, and I'm like, I don't.
But she gets to know him over the course of the story, like, yeah.
Yeah, but like, I don't. If it's out of necessity, she could have got any guy that she could have trusted. If she doesn't trust any men at all, then that would have been like a whole one thing. But she goes to trust this guy later. But she could have got any guy, like maybe she has, okay, maybe not a brother because she doesn't have a brother, or it could have been any guy that she knew from beforehand to be her chaperone, to go to the hotel to be safe. But she didn't have that, and that was like.
I think the last thing she's going to do is, hi, friend of mine, I'm going to go to Mashard, and we're going to share a room, but we're not going to do anything. I don't think she has like that kind of relationship with someone, and I think that relationship is something like her initiating that is going to be seen as an invitation for sex, which she doesn't want.
I don't quite agree with that, because it's literally if it's part of her job, and she asks someone that this is literally part of my job, nothing's going to happen. It's kind of like, yeah, sure. I mean, I feel like maybe I'll boost up from 7 to 8, maybe. But like, essentially, there could have been someone. It doesn't have to be, like, look, I need to do this for work. We're not gonna do anything. It could have been a cousin or something. It could have been anything, right? But it's like, to me, just like, it didn't make sense to me, because she doesn't trust men, but she trusted that guy to be her chaperone. But that's only because she know him. But she could have got that chaperone earlier if she just had a guy with her. And it's just like, it goes around, and it's like, I saw it and I was like, it doesn't, to me, it just couldn't get past it. Couldn't get past that sort of like situation. And that's just like,
girl, if a girl mate approached you and went, I need to go somewhere and I need to share a hotel room, can you come with me? Like,
I would definitely ask why first, and I would
definitely ask why first.
Yes.
But if you didn't ask why,
and I'll probably say yes.
Would you not assume it was like you're getting somewhere with them?
No,
like,
not always, because
okay. I think a lot of blokes probably would probably assume that something's happening, and like, oh, okay, she fancies me. She wants to share a hotel room. I think that's very common for someone to assume, and I don't blame her for not wanting to travel with a bloke.
Especially in
I understand what you're saying.
Kind of yeah, especially in the kind of culture in place like she lives in. Like, we heard, like, one of the reasons I get why sorry, is it really echoey?
No, you're right. You have your headphones on. But it's okay.
Cool. Like, when she didn't say she was a journalist, at first I was thinking, okay, maybe she's trying to keep it on the down low. But then we find out later that she's well known for, her name is tarnished, so people know her, and she doesn't want to have. She's tired of being associated with that kind of crap that they lied about. They said that she was a slut when actually she got fired because she tried to help this guy who assaulted her.
Wait, sorry, Emmanuel. Just now, it just makes me think about one other thing. She could have got another female friend to help her. But okay, sorry. Back to what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're meaning. You know what?
This is something else though, because, well, I do just want to say the bloke that she ends up.
Nice to see you here.
The bloke that she ends up trusting, she always keeps it like arm's length. She's like, I barely trust you. I like, it's only under strict circumstances that she'll like be around him. But also in this society, you kind of see that having the perception of being a slut means you're kind of like disliked by pretty much everybody, not just men. Like, a lot of women will also be like, fuck that bitch. So yeah, again, I understand what you're saying, but I think that's kind of part and parcel of what the film's trying to say. Like, why isn't this woman traveling around with a bloke she trusts or a woman who likes her? And it's like, oh, well, she's been at the center of a sex scandal, so maybe there literally isn't anyone.
Yes. It's just maybe I'll bump up story half a point then. All right, let's get back to that then.
Thank you.
Thank you. I feel okay. I'll be nice. Okay.
Easy that was.
I'll bump it half a point because I still don't quite agree with that. I feel like there could have been another person with her, but yeah, okay.
I think
I
it's
can
like
accept
it's
that.
all part of the sort of commentary of it all, though, isn't it? Because it's like it sort of establishes that life's not normal for her because of what she's been involved in, and the only reason it's not normal for her because of what she's been involved in is because of the sort of norms and expectations of the world she lives in.
Sorry, what did you say, Rob?
Just I think that sort of all adds up to the commentary of it all, because the only reason that she has the issues that she has, or like the difficulties or whatever, is because of where she lives. Like it like she can't live like anyone else because of the things that she's been involved in, and the only reason for that is because of what the people around her think, or I suppose rather like what they're kind of the sort of like the world that they live in is sort of taught them to think a certain way about people who've been involved in what she's been involved in, if that makes sense. And that's why she has that difficulty. It's not like a normal situation. It's not like anyone is going through this. Like it's specifically because of what she's been through.
Yeah, it makes me think of, so this is a film that obviously I didn't pick, but Simon, do you know the story? I might be calling the name wrong. In English it's like Panlian or Panjilan.
Oh fuck! Did you spoil one of my future picks?
No, that's from the one I didn't pick.
Wait. Which? Okay. What? Explain the story or how you remember the story.
Basically, in I'm Not Madame Bovary, the whole premise of it, because of some mess that happened, she is wrongly accused of basically being like Panlian, like a slut
Oh, right. No.
who sleeps
Okay.
around with men and is willing to kill or do harm to whatever man she was with or whatnot. And
Right.
it kind of, and she wants to get her face back, her respect back, her name back, to have this kind of public notice to be like, this is not what I've done. This is not me. And it kind of reminds me. So yeah, I don't think I scored anything, but yeah, it kind of makes me think of in this film in a similar way that she's been accused of this, and everywhere she's going, they're looking down on her, being like, "Oh, it's you blah blah. You're not worth anything. What are you trying to do?" She probably, um, she probably gets very little support from anyone, to be honest, and it's probably very little women who would actually want to, or no women who would actually want to help her out and get involved in the kind of dangerous stuff. Because like a lot of the time I was thinking, in any kind of like any woman in that situation, like without having that kind of backup, like or even with backup, it would be very dangerous. But she cares more about trying to bring this guy to justice, like almost like pretty much in an obsessive way, almost. Because she's like, no, because no one will do it. And she proves a point. Like without even though in the real story, like it was because someone kind of managed to get away. But what if it was a similar thing where it's like maybe they've got a lot of other things going on? Like, yes, the police job's not easy, but it's that kind of thought of what if it was just like, well, it's kind of like that thing where, oh, if a lot of crackheads and people, prostitutes and people like who are like doing lots of bad stuff are being killed, what do we care? Like they're just doing us a favor. Like we don't have the time to be investigating this. And I know that that comes up in like that comes up in many different places in society all around the world. And it's just like I don't know if anyone would even want to really kind of help her because of what she's trying to do when a lot of people would be like, well, they got themselves in that situation. Why are you trying to help them?
I mean, I get what you're trying to say. And like, I mean, she does have people who could have helped her because remember, she still has a phone call with like her mum and dad and stuff, right? So she does have a network of people that could help her. But again, maybe the situation for her has soured.
You want to bring your mum?
She has other people that are still connected. It doesn't have to be heck. But if it was her dad, it would have been better.
But what I would say to that is that her mom was like, "Can you just come home?"
Yeah, but
her family doesn't want her there. Their family's not going to come with her.
What I'm saying is, Emmanuel, there were people that were still willing to help her to a certain point, but it didn't happen that way because again, that's how the story goes. Because as where I feel like we've established that's kind of what the story is aiming for.
But not just that. Sorry, I think the other reason it went that way is because the only thing they would help her with is getting home. They would not. They would be trying to drag her home. If they went there, it probably would be her dad as well who showed up and was just like, "No, you're coming back with me now. Like, stop this. We're too worried." Like,
man, you cut out for a second for me. I didn't hear.
Oh, I think he's frozen. You
No,
there, Simon?
he just
Yes.
does that. It's malfunction.
Yeah, Simon's in his like Westworld phase, so he just like. There we go.
I need to finish watching.
Yeah, I heard that as well, Ben. I don't really. I've not watched Westfield. Maybe Westworld. Sorry.
Nobody's watched Westworld. No.
But yeah,
I've watched some of it.
But what I'm saying is, Emmanuel, it's. I feel like the point of the story was to show that she was going to do it herself because she had to do it herself. I bumped it up by the half point. I just still feel like there could have been someone else to help her, but maybe that's not what the point of the story is, and I guess that's the thing.
I would just like to ask, Emmanuel, are you entertaining guests right now? Because you don't need to. You don't need to do the call if you got guests.
It got guests, but they're about to go to bed, and Camilla's helping out, so it's okay. I'm kind of doing both. Thank you, and to be honest, you're probably right, but thank you.
You need to take a couple minutes out, but don't worry, we'll still be here.
Indeed, we shall.
Thank you. I will.
Go on, then. What else you got?
Wait, who is saying to?
You had problems.
No,
I
that
thought
was.
you was mid-flow on that one, man.
Wait, what?
I thought you was sort of mid rhythm on it.
Oh no, that was still. It was still just that was my main-ish problem with the story wise. Everything else was again. I was gonna say it's well made. It's a fairly well made movie. All the actresses that had to go through all the strangulations and all that stuff. It was like, oh, that was fucking That was grim to watch, but it was very
That's-
well acted.
I get the sense that the fat one quite liked it. I think that was probably my favourite scene. You know, he's like, he goes to strangle her, and she's like, all right. And then she starts strangling him, and he's just like, Jesus. And like she's actually like,
Fucking hell.
she's like a lot stronger than he expected. I thought that was quite fun.
That was fucking uncomfortable, man. Like that
Oh.
was like, because I watched it last night, and I think Rachel had gone to bed at that point when that started happening.
Thankfully.
And I was just kind of sitting here like, oh man, I'm gonna have to like go to the toilet, and this image is gonna be burned into my head. I'm gonna be scared of the stairs behind me, and
Oh!
yeah, just like the laughing got to me, man. Like, it's just
it was strange, but I can understand like it playing on his mind, but I couldn't help but think of Predator in that moment. It's just it's just the scene where the Predator puts the self-destruct mode on his wrist, and then he's laughing and Arnie's running away. That's the only scene that it just reminded me of, and it's nothing to do with the film. It just kind of like just reminded me of that. That's just me. That's just a me problem.
That'd have been good though. If, like she is laughing, and then the guy like looks down, and then her chest opens up, and it's got a bomb and a timer, and that he's like, "What the fuck?" And then he has to jump over a sofa.
That'd be a very different film.
It would have been. Yeah, it's a very terrible and terrible. Like the implications of that scene is still quite profound and impressive, and yeah, the seriousness of it is not kind of noticed, but I just could not help but think that.
I think, like, I don't know, man. Like, all of them were really rough. I think the thing that got me the most, though, I don't know if I'm like going into. Well, it's not a favourite scene, but like it's the roughest scene for sure. I don't know if I'm going into that a bit too early, but like the thing that really got me was the kids acting it out. Like that was just
that's
like
what got me.
I think that was the moment where I went, yeah, this is a brilliant film, but also fuck this film.
Yeah, it's horrible to think about, because at that point you kind of like the villain gets what he deserves, kind of thing, and it ends quite neatly with a bow and everything, and everything's all it's all resolved, and then that scene where she looks at the videotape on the camera playback, and then you see that, and it just gives you a bit of taste in your mouth, because this is just an ongoing thing that's going to happen no matter what, and no matter what's happened in the film, it's gone on to inspire the next generation of psychopaths, and it's never ending.
Yeah, I mean, even that, like, is a weird word to use for it, isn't it? Like, inspire. Like, it's sort of just. It don't feel good,
got rid
man.
of one, but the response to it, like, was, yeah, pretty disquieting.
Yeah.
Lots of fans cheering for him at the courthouse and all that shit. That was just like,
that was horrible.
God. That was like that scene was like, oh my God, is this what we're going into now?
Yeah, because that's such a football.
It was quite a nice touch to have when the police chief comes to a hotel room, and he's saying about there was like another murder, and he's just like, oh yeah, she was really gross. She was pregnant. Can you imagine being a prostitute and you're still doing it while you're pregnant? Like, I was just like, but you can just see it going like. Also, the guy who killed her though, he's not a problem, I guess. Like, but you can see it's all on the woman, and it's just like, man, that's really creepy. Yeah, I can see why. The Iranian government wouldn't be that happy with this, but it is also like it's cover up what's not true. I'm not speaking up against the Iranian government.
Yeah, it's like the whole kind of highlighting what happened, because at the end of the day, it was a true story, and at the time it was politically charged, or became politically charged because of obviously the religious aspect of it. Yeah, so of course they don't want to be called out for something they'd rather be forgotten. Like even the way they kind of got rid of him. I think got rid of him. They didn't have him like serve his sentences. They obviously said, yeah, that's his sentence. Lead him on the way, kind of like, yeah, he will kind of let him believe, he's gonna get off, and then we hang him, which was a whole interesting thing itself. But I also like it from a filmmaker's point of view because it keeps you hoping that he gets what's coming, but at the same time, you're like, what's actually going to happen? Is this really over? Is the journalist right? Is this not over? What's going to happen? But then you see him go, and even though you're like, yes, he deserves it, it's still grim.
Was I right to thinking he was actually going to get away with it at the end? I was like, oh fuck! Actually, is he actually going to escape for a second?
Yeah, I kind of got that impression at first.
Okay, so I was the only one. That's fine. I was just worried that no, he's actually going to escape. And afterwards, the two guards come in. I was like, oh wait a second. Oh no, he actually is going to get executed because I hate it because of like the context of it, but I really enjoy it because of like just how sort of seemingly evil it is when he goes into the room to get his lashes, but he's just like standing like the wall is getting lashed, and he's like trying not laugh, and he's like, "Oh, you bastard!" and he's smiling and being all giddy about it, and I was like, "Oh, that's so like I don't know how it felt so slimy," and I was like, "Oh, that's great acting and like great like emphasis for the movie to show how evil and like slimy it is." But like if that was like the real life version of it, I was like, "Oh, that's just fucking hell, that's just grim." But obviously, at the end, he got like backstabbed as well. Yeah, he got. Oh yeah, I'll say he's got betrayed, backstabbed, and he was like, "You bastard, you promised me," and he gets killed as well. So I was like, okay.
Apparently those were his actual like last words. So it was just like this wasn't the deal.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, that wasn't. Was that actually his father? That this wasn't part of the deal?
Yeah, that was like that was his factual last words. This wasn't the deal.
This wasn't part of the deal, placard. This wasn't part of the deal.
Did you? Fuck that, but like that, it's not just a Simpsons thing. I feel like that's a quote for a lot of bad people. In like, I feel like it's a trope for a movie, for lots of movies. It's like this wasn't part of the deal. Oh, that line has been said 500 times the last few years. Okay, cool. It's like
It's great though. It's great.
At least no one said, "I'm altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it further."
Say that again, Alec?
I guess at that point it's a bit late because he's already kind of going like.
I'm altering the deal. Play I don't alter it further.
One random thing about that scene, and I like how, I mean, it makes sense they did it, but I say did it. I never knew how long the brim of their hats were to protect them from the shade. It obviously makes sense.
Yeah, his hat was fucking massive, right? The fucking massive baseball cap.
I thought he had a tiny head.
Yeah, it makes sense in the country. Obviously, like they have the sun beaming down on them, and they're standing in the same spot a lot of the time. If they didn't have enough shade, they'd be screwed. So they probably take it more seriously.
Emmanuel, it looked like a little kid was wearing Shaquille O'Neal's baseball cap. That's like how big it was. Just like it literally came out of his head. Like it was like fucking like Daffy Duck's in like mouth or head. Right? I was like, I saw it. I was like, maybe it was just a prop choice, but it was just like weird. But it was very jarring to see him like hanging. I see the hat. I'm like, I don't know what I need to concentrate more on the story.
What happened? What I missed? Everyone just fucking died.
As some froze.
No, I feel like I thought. Well, I might have froze. I feel like everyone else froze as well, so that's probably why. That's why, because I'm gonna be caught in a weird freeze frame. I'm gonna be like,
So is this
okay,
just how
like, you know
Simon
what I
feels
mean?
about the film?
Oh, that's Simon. He just does that. He just malfunctions.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're sort of. I think I also I quite like the music in the moments that it kind of came in. It did remind me. I don't know what it reminded me of, whether it was reminiscent of like some Hans Zimmer scores or some other kind of things that he does. I don't know. You know what I mean? There were certain moments where the music would slowly come in, and it's like this just reminded me of something in like the Dark Knight trilogy or something. I don't know, or like in a Hans Zimmer composition.
Yeah, the music was well done, and it came in when it needed to go. I thought it was quite effective. Like Alexandra,
It came in when it needed to go.
well, you know what I mean, when it needed to come in.
Oh.
If you've seen Argo and Zero Dark 30, very similar scores and same sort of vibe. So
Funnily
I
enough,
appreciate that.
well, not funnily enough, just something I thought was sort of funny. The bloke who did the music for this also did the music for a film called Night of the Living Dicks.
Was that not a comedy?
I don't know. It's a horror.
Oh,
I mean, if it was a horror, it would make sense as well, almost.
To be fair, the synopsis sounds mad. It's a woman who's had enough of anonymous dick pics finds eyeglasses that give her the ability to see which men are the real dicks, but the dicks also see her.
What the fuck?
That does sound like a horror. Yeah.
It sounds like something you would write, Simon.
No, it's not anime enough. It needs.
Hey, enough. Get out of here. That's the most anime thing I ever fucking heard.
It needs more explosions. I need to Michael Bay it and add a few more explosions. Once that happens, then that's me.
We've added living dicks, but we need some fucking vertebrae in it as well. Then it's peak anime.
Oh no! If the living dicks happen to be zombies or like vampires, then yeah, it's anime enough. But until that happens, it's not anime enough. You know what I mean?
No.
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Exactly.
I can appreciate
that's
what
what I'm
you mean.
saying. If you didn't know what I mean, then it wasn't anime enough. You get it?
No.
Exactly. So you've proved my point twice now. Thank you. It's not me, but it needs to be more anime. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
In any case, with this film, I feel like the amount of people, the amount of ladies that he has killed, and the filming and the shots of this film are actually quite interesting to see. When we first start at the beginning with the actual first lady there, and don't know if I should say this. Fuck it, I'll say it. If she actually did have the dude stick in her mouth or not is the one thing, right? Because that was just like if that is what actually happened, it does deserve a 10 out of 10 for acting because
I can't fucking believe you, Simon. I can't believe you just.
But just seeing all of that being shot and how
I
all
am
that
shocked
begins
and appalled.
Well, you should be, because when I was watching it and someone pulled up to that particular scene, I was like, Simon, what the fuck are you watching? I was like, I'm not sure what this movie is about yet.
You should have just turned around and been like method acting.
It's you actually saw Shaft, which is the problem, right? You don't really see a movie with Shaft in it. Not like yeah. So it's just like, I didn't expect that. Anyways, when it goes,
I wasn't expecting so much hairy bum personally. There's an awful lot of hairy bum.
There's a very lingering shot on hairy butt. Yes, there
I'd
was.
have been very. If I was being asked of me, I'd have been a lot more, a little bit more self-conscious of my hairy bum. You wouldn't have known about my hairy bum.
saying that.
But no, hang on, that wasn't a good segue at all.
But adding to that point, when
Camilla
kept saying, I want to watch it, I want to try and watch it. I was like, you're not going to want to watch this. Like, after what Ben and the guys have been saying, like, you're not going to want to watch this, and you're not in the mood to want to watch this. But let me just see the start of it. We got to the part where he's like, I'm going to tear it apart. I'm not obviously going to repeat that at the beginning of the film.
You're not going to say pussy?
It's just a horrible scene. I don't want to remember it. It's just going to flash back in my head. I don't want that. It's not the words, it's the images. I stopped it immediately. It's just like, nope. It's just like, yeah, you're right. I don't want to see this film. I was like, yeah, no. And you definitely tonight would not be in a good mood. Like having this in your head. It's like, yeah, let's not do this. But then
I don't feel like this is a film that you should really. I mean, unless you're really into showing grim films to like people, I don't think this is a film that you would recommend for other people to watch. This is the same sort. Yeah, this is your same sort of like Capernaum and stuff. It's like an experience. You can watch it, but it's like not really recommend it, I guess.
You don't invite grandma around for movie night with this one.
Fucking hell, man.
Oh man, the thing is with compared to Capernaum or some films, like I recommend Capernaum. I do give a warning to it. Camilla won't watch it because she knows it's too sad. She'll be bawling in tears. But it's different having something that's really sad, heart wrenching, based off of true events or things that happen. That's one thing. But this is just constant violence against women, sexual assault, really grim, just someone killing people, and all sorts of messed up misogyny all around the place. I don't think that doesn't need to be recommended in terms of like, if that's something someone is interested in, like watching, someone's like, you know what, like for Eb, you're like, Eb, you might be interested in watching this. Cool, this might be up your road. Here you go. But I'm not just gonna go around recommending it. It's like, I'm just saying that there's a difference. I might recommend Capernaum, and it might be sad, but this is a different. I'm not just saying to people watch this because it's kind of like how.
Yeah, but Emmanuel, I feel like you said, "Hey, would you like to watch Antichrist?" I feel you recommended people to watch Antichrist before, so I feel like I feel like you've definitely mentioned it at least once to some other people. So I feel like
no. So there's a different context to that. I showed Film Club Antichrist because I wanted you guys to feel what I went through when I got shown this film. I didn't know what the crap I was going into. And some people I work with in the film industry were just like, hey, come watch this. And I was just like, what's this about? Just come, it'll be all right. It's like, all right. And at the end, I was like, what the did I just watch? So I was just like, you know what? I'm showing this to my friends that can go through the same thing.
So I feel like I have to be from Berkeley and be like, I don't believe you. Just pull out a cigarette and just start smoking. I don't know. I feel like I don't believe you. That's like, but it's
anytime it's come up in conversation with anyone else, if they were thinking of watching, I was like, you can, but it's messed up. I'm not gonna like I'm just being straight up. You can watch it if you want. It's interesting, but it's messed up. So it's up to you.
I feel like we should revisit it.
No, I think Pat would be very happy not to. If Pat's there, if you're there, man.
I don't think he'll ever come back if we ever watch Antichrist again.
He's like, F this, I'm out.
And what about Antichrist, the sequel to Anti-Christ?
Oh man. Oh yeah. On a side note, one film I briefly thought about picking for a moment. But I said looked into picking. I didn't actually think about properly picking it. But I looked into whether I wanted to pick Magnolia or whatnot, which he made after that, and I was just like, nope. At first, I was seeing the trailer, I was like, I'm not sure. Maybe let's see how this goes. And then if anyone has seen it or knows the premise, I was just like, this film is a bit too. I don't like anything of what's going on. I'm not picking this.
Wait, what film
Saying
did you say?
Magnolia. No, sorry,
Magnolia.
not Magnolia. Melancholia.
Melancholia.
Oh, Melancholia. Oh, right, okay.
Sorry,
Because I was like,
sorry,
yeah, man,
yeah.
Magnolia is a great pick, and then you said Lars von Trier did it, and I was like, that's not Magnolia.
I thought
Yeah,
that.
sorry.
I was like, I didn't realize Lars von Trier did one called Magnolia. I know he did one called Melancholia. Very bold of him to do Magnolia and Melancholia, really. But
Yeah, sorry.
he is whatever nationality he is.
Danish.
Explains a lot.
Openly a Nazi, weirdly.
Yeah, I'll tell you that.
That's stuff. But yeah, I was just like,
Fucking
yeah, I'm not,
lovely.
Who's a Nazi?
That's
Lars
a
von Trier.
deliciously.
Oh, he's a
That was a
cunt.
whip.
If you want a deliciously awkward press tour, that's your man. That's brilliant.
Wait. Okay, because I've never heard of those two films. I entered Magnolia first, and I was like, wait, this doesn't seem that it was like 1999. I was like, wait, this is not. This doesn't look like a grim film. Why this? Then afterwards,
It is quite grim, to be fair. Like, it is grim, but not like Lars von Trier grim.
Yeah, but then afterwards, you see like just like the fucking like cover photo for Melancholia with the bride and stuff. I was like, oh yeah, this seems much more like a fucking Emmanuel film. Just it feels a bit more sinister behind the story. You know what I mean?
How have you got onto Lars von Trier? Have you been talking about Antichrist again?
Yes.
Oh well.
Okay. Yeah. No, the reason
You've
is
just taken like a suicide tablet or something.
It was just a fried egg.
You can say it's the anti-life.
Jesus
We're gonna read this Antichrist. Oh, don't mind me.
Oh, Antichrist again? Oh, fucking drink some fucking poison. This is like freaking. Oh, shit. Oh,
Rewatching that film would definitely put you over the edge of the bridge.
I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack. Oh,
Fuck me, is it hot tonight?
yes, yes.
No, that's just the poison kicking in.
But, no, 'cause-
To be fair, Haribo Star Mix probably is poison.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
The reason that we were talking
Go
about it
easy.
is because we were talking about how this isn't a film that Emmanuel would recommend, but I was like, you've recommended Antichrist, so I don't know if that's true.
Actually, I would recommend this film.
It's a bit. It's okay.
It's
a very
it's
rough
dark
film.
as
you know what I'm
fuck.
saying?
It's dark as fuck, but in terms of like filmmaking, especially if you're gonna recommend films of a foreign language to people that aren't sort of usual watchers of it, it's a fairly easy film to watch, despite its sort of dark nature. And you know what Western audiences are like. They do like a good old crime film. So I'd definitely. I think this should have a wider net. I think if it was a film, obviously being an Iranian film, it's not gonna sort of command a lot of advertising space. But it should. Like I think if more people knew about it, I think more people would watch it.
It did go down quite well at London Film Festival last year. Like, it got quite a bit of buzz. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's a bit of a weird one because there's a lot about it that I suppose I respect. I think like making a film about this kind of thing and like the way that they've done it, and they've been quite openly critical about the stuff that has all come together to cause this kind of thing to happen, or at least like create an environment where this kind of thing can happen, not easily, but like, yeah, it's a bit more open to it happening than some other environments would be, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. I struggle with it just because it's so like it's so bleak, and you can't change that. Like you can't tell this story without being so bleak. But it's just like I don't know. I just keep coming back to that scene with the kids reenacting it. It's just like it's so. It reminds me of the feeling that I had when we watched Capernaum, and I just left it like just completely hopeless. It's like I think there's just something about seeing kids in that sort of context just makes me go like, nah, fuck this, however good it might be.
I don't blame you.
I feel the same. It's because it is so realistic and grounded. It makes it hit home all the more because you know this stuff is happening for real some point in the past, and in this case, not that long ago. So it's yeah, it just makes you kind of feel a bit uneasy.
Mm.
I feel like everyone, because we all know that this is an uneasy film. What is everyone's most uneasiest favorite scenes? Because I feel like we've hit the point of like, yeah, this is just a bit grim. Let's quickly get through this because I feel like it's just too dark of a film. So anyone for favorite scenes? Because
I think I've got a couple.
Up in there.
Don't know.
There's a weird echo going on.
Echo.
Wait, is it coming from me?
Not anymore.
I can't hear it now.
Oh.
Obviously, the end scene where he thinks he's getting away with it, only to end up on the wrong end of a rope. I think it was set up quite well. It's obviously like he's in that side room, supposed to be taking lashes, and they're lashing the wall and pretending he's getting hit. But even then, like the detective woman obviously saw something was amiss because she's like, I want to see his marks, because she's obviously like he's made sounds not really consistent with someone that's taking lashes. And then obviously ended up getting hung, which was nice, I guess. The other one, man, it's probably the night she's sort of walking through the street and she's getting followed, and you've got like a real sense of dread for her. And I think that's the way that it was sort of set up by the director. I really liked. I got quite tense watching it. So like in terms of like a tension building scene, I thought that was really well done.
wait, Pat, do you mean the scene where she actually meets the killer, or do you mean the scene like the day before where she like escapes through to the
when she's getting followed by the bloke on the bike?
Oh, okay, that's what. Okay.
And then she ends up running back to the hotel.
Yeah, it's a good scene to build tension, even though it wasn't for the correct person yet, but it was a great tension building scene.
There was that much tension in it that when she got back to the hotel, I farted. It was relief.
That's awesome.
I guess when I get a bit nervous, I build up gas.
You know, boy.
Are you always nervous then?
I got really nervous during that scene.
Okay, fine enough. Okay.
Speaking of
Okay.
which, I nearly stunk out the cinema today.
Go on.
I
Thankfully,
sort of sat there and
didn't
I
smell that.
was so Ben was one side of me and there was some other woman on the other side, and I was I was sort of like, oh man, my stomach feels a bit dodgy. I was like, when the film's over, I'll run into the toilet, and it's like it got too bad, so I ended up silently ripping one, and the fucking stink that came out of me was unreal. I saw the woman at the corner of my eye like go. So I was fucking dying, so I had to move my hoodie up to my face. I think if Rob was there, I would have been outed straight away.
I don't know how I missed that. I must have gone to the bathroom when that
You
happened.
must no, you were next to me.
Really?
Yeah,
How
you
did
must
I
have
not
been
notice?
so engrossed by it that.
I'm shocked.
Oh man.
Can't take me anywhere. Anyway,
So, favorite scene is a bit of a different one for me. Mine is the scene where they actually go and visit the. I don't actually know the name of the guy, but like the clergyman, the cleric guy, where they first try to get like information about the killings and stuff. And it's a favorite scene of mine because it's simply talking to each other, but it's the simple fact that it's very simple. The clergyman goes, "I know who you are, and I know what you think of me, but I'm still even though I'm a religious character, I still have common sense. I get why these things are bad and stuff, but it's kind of like good
I
for
am
my
a religious character.
yeah. But would you say cleric, priest, clergyman, rabbi? That's not right. But like obviously, I don't know the name. I don't know the name of like the religious title he would have.
I just enjoyed it. The idea that it was dialogue where he said, "I am a religious character."
In any case, because of his, even though he is a religious person, character, you could say, that he even then he was like, I get it's murder stuff, but it's he was sensible to a point, right? It's like I get it's not good to kill people, but because it's for the whole, because he's doing God's work, I don't really want to stop him. And it's like, you bastard. It's kind of like it was great to see it because it's like killing people is wrong, but killing certain people is okay. And it's just like you can feel like the amount of like contempt for the character, and it's like, yeah, it's bad. I'm not gonna do anything about it. And it's because just seeing those scenes and seeing how it plays out like that, it was great to watch it because it's like, oh, he knows everything that's wrong, but he still doesn't do anything about it. Makes him like the worst person. And it's like it was always good to see those characters because it shows you like how people are in real life in certain times, and it's just like, so evil. But it's so like, what you gotta do about it? Nothing, because I don't need to do anything about it. It's just like, so sleazy, so evil. And it builds up like the bad characters aren't just the murderer, it's everyone else that is also a guy in this film. The clergyman, the police chief guy, or police captain guy with the really dirty shoes. I remember just seeing his shoes being really dirty. Don't remember why, but it's like, yeah. And afterwards, you have like
It's always
Murderer
shoes.
himself. There's a lot of films has to do with shoes. I just it's a thing that I never really thought about until you guys mentioned it, or until Emmanuel mentioned it to you guys, and you guys mentioned it as part of the chat. And it's a thing that I really noticed now. I can't help it. It's just like, oh yeah, it's a really it's really uncomfortable looking shoes. Or oh yeah, he's got really dirty looking shoes. Maybe I feel like for this shot, because it does linger for like a split second, because it's supposed to show that he's supposed to be he's a very unkept, sort of like sleazy guy anyways. So it's like, oh, I guess there's a point to it. But like, but because of you guys, I've been noticing shoes on characters, and it goes, I didn't need to notice shoes and characters, but I just noticed it because you guys talked about it. It's like, why is that character wearing sandals too? But it's like cold outside. It doesn't make sense. It's like, fuck, it just hit me in the character development stuff. It's just like terrible business. You guys have ruined films or footwear for films for me, and it's like, Anyway, anyone else for favourite scenes before I go back onto shoe or footwear rants?
Alex out.
I thought Alec was going to get some shoes. So
That was a no. That was a no in case that wasn't clear.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
Oh, fucking hell, he threw his head out.
Yeah, no, it's difficult to choose on, man. Like, it's just like, well, like I said, like the one that's affected me the most is the one with the kids. I don't think I could call anything a favourite as such.
Because the most compelling scene for me is the bit where she goes undercover to try and get him for the penultimate, well, the penultimate time. She has to pretend to be one of his victims, and I suppose that bit was the most gripping moment in the whole entire film for me, because she's putting her life on the line to get this guy, and she doesn't know how it's going to go. She knows what to expect, but she doesn't know how he'll react exactly. So that part was the most terrifying. If you put yourself in her shoes and just watching how it unfolded, it could have gone so terribly wrong. But yeah, that moment, because they're both desperate people trying to get, they have their own goals and their own wants, and both of them will be willing to do anything it takes to do what they need to do, and it's just like nerve-wracking and nail-biting to see it unfold. So yeah, that part, favorite scene for me.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, anyone else for favourite scenes? Because it got again,
ones?
or I mean, like, or just scenes of note, I guess. Because again, maybe there's not favourites. It's just scenes that like stick with you. I mean, yeah.
Has Emmanuel said it yet?
I thought Manuel was saving it to last. I still think he's taking people, or he's putting people to sleep.
Yeah, saving it to last. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's putting people to sleep.
Who hasn't done this?
I personally liked the bit where Saeed thinks the deal is happening, and I kind of like that they have the character of Haji, and he seems to be sort of like the loyal friend archetype, and then you kind of have him come in that moment, and he's like, "Oh, cool, Haji's here," and like you kind of think he's gonna be, I don't know, you get the impression that he's not, he's not someone that Saeed thinks he's going to be able to confide in about this, and then having him come in and be like, it's all right, mate, we got your back, and you're just like, oh man, that's actually kind of like a nice little. This is a nice way to make that character archetype seem a bit sinister. Just him being loyal to like that degree, where even like if he killed 16 women, yeah, he's like, I got your back, bro, no worries. And it's like, fuck, that's actually like really fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I quite like that. And then he's either hallucinating it or it's like a bit of a time lapse that he doesn't quite know, like he doesn't quite like track that it happened. But yeah, he like you don't see Haji leave. You kind of just cut back and he's just standing there, and so he's just kind of going like. And you can see he's just had like a bit of a psychotic break kind of thing. It's like I thought that was pretty neat. Cool little scene.
Mm. Yeah, that's a nice one, man. That's a.
Thank you.
Sorry, is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I know I'm entertaining, but I was just like, it's my call. It's my film, and I'm missing out. I think like scenes of note, scenes of note. Again, I did like some of the kind of scenes where the music was building up and there wasn't anything being said. Some of those scenes where not much was being said, but things were happening. Like sometimes that was really powerful, especially after a long time of dialogue. And you just get these actions and things that are happening. It was really effective. I liked how they I said brought in the film and introduced the film. It was hard and got the point home that this is what you're in to see. This is what you're about to. So get ready. And it's just like, I think the most uneasiest scene is definitely the kid at the end.
Mm.
There were lots of moments where I was just like, the kind of toxic stuff he would say to his kid. Just like, don't say that. And I know like so many people would say that and do say that kind of thing, even not in those kind of situations. And it's just like even the kind of little things they included in the script of how you can tell like he's not really paying much attention to his wife, and his wife's just like, because when she comes up with the curly hair or her hair is curled, that's just like, wait, it's something different, and she looks nice, and then she was like, do you notice something? And he's just like, what? And it's quite a classic thing, stereotypical thing, but in the situation, it's just like it is just like, and then I think what makes it even worse, that whole scene, it makes it even more uneasy when he sees the foot, and then it's like he gets more into it, and I'm just like, this is messed up. This is messed up. Yeah, just, I think I really liked as well, not as well, but in the end, when the main actress, the main character, she finally kind of, after being through all this kind of stuff with the guy that was helping her out, and him actually not like betraying her trust, like probably so many other men have. It's just like she kind of shows her thanks in her way and kisses him on the cheek. It's like, yeah, like, it's like, yeah, like, thank you a lot for what you've done. It's seeing like the conclusion to that part of her journey that she took this risk. She took so many risks, and she's still able to go home. Yeah, go back home, which is obviously it's nice. You don't want to see crap happen to the character or like really terrible stuff. So it's nice to have that kind of ending, or that part of the ending anyway, not the rest of it. Yeah, I think, yeah. I don't know if that, I don't know if I actually said all the things. I think I said everything. Yeah. I think saying that, I think if I had watched it before, I still would have picked it. Um, again, saying that, I probably wouldn't have realized how bad thought about how bad it was being desensitized, I guess. Yeah. Thank you for pushing the soldier through it. Another pick. And oh yeah, also, I was, I'm not kicking myself, but I was just like, crap, I could have picked the romance. or like something similar.
You picked the exact opposite of a romance.
Yeah. That,
You picked
yeah,
it.
but yeah, sorry about that. Unless someone else is going to pick a romance next, just to make up for my forgetfulness. But
I mean, this was a bit of a weird pick to choose for this particular week, mainly because I feel like a lot of us watched it like, when we had like, it was on Wednesday, or someone was like, oh wow, this is a great film to pick for Valentine's Day. It was not what I expected to watch on that day. I was like, oh wow. Ugh.
yeah, sorry about that.
Don't be. It could have been worse. You could have chose something incredibly cheesy. You could have chose something romantic, yeah, but it could have been like one of the worst annoying cheesy romances. You could have picked
10 things I
you
hate
could have
about
picked something
you.
like, no, I was thinking you could have picked Love Actually, and I know I've been like, I'll probably give it a worse score than this. Probably, just be like,
Rob definitely would have.
Sadly, got all
Simon,
ones, mate.
you're the only person who picks Christmas movies in February. The Grinch, you fucking idiot.
That wasn't February. That was April.
That's even worse.
Okay.
Yeah, but like it was like April Fool's pick. But sure. We'll go with what you said.
Oh,
Shawshank Redemption.
oh man. Oh, but saying
I
that,
ain't
like,
picnic, is it now?
I
Sorry,
don't know. I don't know what I would have picked if I did go for a romance. I was like considering it like after like just before watching like a few days ago what I would have picked, because the only things I can think about that I think are like good films that also kind of romances are really sad. So I don't know if that's also, it's better. It would be better than this, but it
No, grim as fuck.
also it won't. Yeah, it won't be grim, but I don't. I guess I just know too many sad films. It's hard to find a good a good happy film that's not like too cheesy or bad or something of that kind of. I don't know. You can pick one that's so bad it's good. I don't know. Anyway.
You just pick bad films that are bad.
Someone's motto.
Save that. No. Oh yeah, sorry. Does anyone have anything else to they wanted to say about the film or around it or whatnot.
I feel like this film is still quite grim. I have a film that's kind of similar like this. I'll pick this later this year. But in any case, that's a whole another thing for me.
Oh man, maybe I should try and pick some more lighter ones or try.
To
I
be
thought it
fair,
was
this
a-
was kind of the antidote to Cool Runnings. Like, it was-
Yeah, this is a definite.
Oh,
this is a
yeah.
definite you. I thought
I did pick
quite-
Cool Runnings.
I was really impressed with this. Yeah, I thought it was really nicely done. I really liked. They start off showing you who the Spider Killer is already, building it around it. I think that's really good for building up tension and stuff. Yeah, having those two stories sort of work concurrent, I thought was pretty interesting. Like, I find with your picks, they tend to be like fairly slow paced, but there's always stuff happening. So I kind of go like,
Yeah.
how long have I got left? And then I'm like, oh, like half an hour, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that was all pretty. That was actually fairly pacey, considering like how slowly it's kind of going. But yeah, I thought it was like a nice little. I thought it was a nice little snapshot into what life's sort of like there and what the society is, and like the religion as well. Like with the shrine and everything. That shrine was absolutely beautiful. But yeah, I got the thing like of like the director just kind of like he was around when it happened, and he was just absolutely blown away that people were like praising that it was going on, and that is just mad. But I think it's just one of those feelings like where you're going like, am I on planet Earth right now? Like, am I crazy? Like, yeah, I think it's really good at capturing that sort of feeling. And yeah, I thought this was a really nice pick. Good job.
Thanks, man.
So Rob's next or Ben's next?
So we swapped because I'm not here the week after next. So I'm next. I don't really know what I'm next with though. Because
Is it streaming? That's the question.
well, that's the thing. So basically, I wanted to pick Godzilla, as in the 1954 Godzilla. That's not streaming. So then I thought,
wait.
well, maybe I can finally pick Akira. That's not streaming. And then
I mean,
thought, well,
Akira's on Amazon, isn't it?
nah, not anymore.
It was.
Wait,
but
what?
then
Off Amazon and Netflix.
Yeah, so it was
Wait,
on.
wait. If it's still on fucking Crunchyroll, give me
I've checked
like
Crunchyroll. It's not on there. The page for it is still on Crunchyroll, but you can't watch it anymore.
Yeah, they took it
when
down.
did that happen?
Yeah,
entirely. Literally like 3
yeah,
weeks ago.
it literally is. Yeah, it's nowhere, and there's very few decently priced Blu-rays or DVDs left that aren't like
Yeah.
collector's editions. So yeah, it's hard to get a hold of as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's not. Yeah, okay. I'm on Crunchyroll. Oh, I know why. Funimation has fucking like
Yeah,
decided to kill itself.
yeah. Funimation is being merged with Crunchyroll.
Yeah, it's essentially the Funimation library has everything there, but Funimation has fucked itself because of bad management, and all their previous works were like Well, we don't really have the license anymore because we're no longer Funimation, so everything is in that weird like limbo.
Oh, it's so annoying, man.
Oh, okay. I was about to say
That's
Akira
low
is
cut.
it's a big one, but I was like,
Oh, yeah, so is Godzilla. Like,
Yeah, this like
it's mad, man. But yeah, so yeah, I was gonna do Godzilla. It's not streaming. I was gonna do Akira. It's not streaming. And then I thought maybe I can like make up for Emmanuel not picking a romance film, and I can do In the Mood for Love. That's also not streaming. and then I thought, well, maybe I'll just do something that's really fucking weird. But then Lost Highway is also not streaming. So I've gone through 4 choices for this pick.
Wait,
All of them.
because Godzilla is you're talking about the super old one, the 1954 one, right?
Yeah,
The
1954. Yeah.
Is that not on like the Wayback Machine or like the like on
Nah,
like
man. Only like a 360 pixel version, and yeah. But it's the same distributor as Akira, so I think it might have gone down with like all the funny rights stuff that are going on with that.
Oh, fucking
But
hell. Okay.
yeah, it's so annoying, man. So yeah, so I've gone through 4 picks. I'm not really sure what to do. Would you guys prefer another foreign film or an English film this week?
English one preferably.
Okay.
Foreign which country?
Yeah.
Well,
America.
any country really.
Yeah, but like
Right.
it could be foreign
Kent.
European or foreign Asian. It's very different. There's a fair.
Are you trying to ask if it's foreign to us but not you?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
Is
I
it
mean, like our
Australian?
films are still foreign. It really depends. It could be foreign, like Middle Eastern as well. So it really depends.
Yeah.
We've had like 3 foreign films in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's Australian.
English.
Oh,
Oh,
go
it's
on then.
Irish.
I'll do the film that I was gonna pick when I picked After Hours. I'll do Boogie Nights.
Oh, nice.
Boogie Nights.
Okay.
I think it's streaming. Hang on, let me just check it's streaming.
Oh, man.
Boogie Nights
And
is
the
not
survey
streaming.
says
It is not streaming in the entire world.
Rob wants to pick it, not streaming.
Yeah,
It's
not-
streaming.
fact-
It's
Yeah.
streaming.
Yay.
Fifth
Where?
choice lucky.
What, £15 to rent? What?
Oh, just
What?
what's that, Rob? Just on Apple TV.
No, actually, if you get the version on Apple TV, you get the special features with it. If I remember right.
Oh,
If that's still the
Oh,
case, anyway.
Ooh, nice. But man, the fact that you went through 4 and like, oh,
Well,
feel for
it's
you,
mainly
man.
because I feel like it's mainly because he chose a production studio that was just disappeared, and because it just disappeared, literally just disappeared. It was like only like a couple of weeks ago that it got like absorbed into Crunchyroll. It's so annoying. It's quite annoying.
Oh, it's so annoying,
Lovely
man. Do you know,
part. It's
the most annoying thing as well is that the only reason I didn't pick Akira like 2 years ago is because I was like, I want to watch the version on Netflix to make sure it's not a dog shit version before I pick it, because that's the one everyone's going to watch. And now it's just nowhere.
I mean, like later this year, it might come back when they finally sort out all that bullshit. But it's also a chance that they may go, yeah, we're not renewing it. Fuck you. Or as always, like, oh fucking hell, it's
Also,
troublesome.
also, Rob, just like we've done it in the past, at the end of the day, if someone wants to pick something and it's not streaming, we could figure out a way.
Yeah, I mean, like we
Yeah.
could buy the DVD and we can pass it around like last time.
Or do what I did and buy a DVD for everyone.
Do you know what?
Yeah,
I considered
Certain
doing
people
that.
not to even watch it.
I considered doing that for Godzilla, but you can't even buy an English DVD or Blu-ray of that.
not even DVD.
Funny enough, the
Yeah.
version that John picked is actually in English or in Japanese with English subtitles on Crunchyroll now. Fuck.
Do you know that's gone
Yeah.
out of print in America now? So the Blu-ray of that is now super expensive in the US.
Oh man.
Oh, really? That's insane.
Yeah.
This is what I hate about like just the digital world. It's like, look, if you have the rights for something, and you look, just put it out anywhere, it will make money, even if it is like £15 to rent or something. Just at least have the option to have it.
Yeah,
That's the fact that it's not anywhere is just what bugs me the most. Like they could charge whatever they like, but the fact taking it down entirely on everything is just so like incendious. It's just
Yeah, I mean, like extreme worst case scenario, you could just make it as a YouTube movie, like put on YouTube Rev and sell it for like 10 quid each time you want to view it, and you would still probably make money. Or you could be like the second version of that, where it's in legal limbo and you can stream Dogma legally on YouTube for free, and no one can complain.
Well, I was going to say actually, like, so I did think I had a solution for Akira because somebody's uploaded it to YouTube in 4K, but there's so many fucking adverts on it. I was like, it's not worth it.
What?
I mean, like,
I don't mind that.
well,
Oh, I
yeah,
can't
that's not
stand
that
it,
bad,
man.
to be honest. Like,
Yeah,
well,
if you
it's
can't
also,
skip
it's also,
them.
Yeah.
well, it's also the thing, like, with watching movies on Amazon Amazon Prime, sorry. It's like it has adverts anyway, so that's like I can deal with adverts. That's
Not
fine.
for me.
It's-
I paid.
Oh, I can't do it, man. I get like physically angry if an advert starts partway through a film.
But it really depends on what the advert is, to be honest.
Oh, I can't do it, man.
Any adverts, even if it's thank call I like, it's just it takes you out of it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
mind right at the beginning and right at the end, fair enough. But at the same time, it's still like if you're paying for a service of so and so a month, you should not have adverts. That's the whole point. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's just
Oh, yeah.
cable TV all over again.
I should buy it. I feel like
and that's
now-
mad.
Yeah,
Average
but
of,
now
like,
listening to this
18
and watching it. Oh, sorry, man, you go again.
Oh, I was just saying, and the cable TV thing is mad because it's like a normal TV average of 18 to 22 minutes of ads an hour, which is
That's
mad.
mad. That's a lot.
And also just to talk about the physical thing again, I don't know, and if anyone knows, maybe you can shine some light onto it. But does Disney have anything against Australia? Because Australia was one of the first countries it said it's stopping all of its physical media in.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Honestly,
I don't think
haven't-
that's anything against Australia. I think it's Australia is against Disney. I feel if that makes sense, you know? They're like, no, all your fucking Finding Nemo DVDs are on because someone fucking made a fuck up on order. All those DVDs have fallen into the ocean and polluting the fucking coral reef. I don't need any more fucking physical DVDs.
All the
I mean, that's
snakes
the
are
only-
hiding under the discs.
What the fuck? But like, yeah, that's
What?
I mean, that's a joke, obviously. But like,
Yeah,
but, like maybe
I am joking.
but like maybe it's just because maybe it's because literally it's about recycling or like uses of like physical media as digital media. But if that is the case, digital media needs to be easier access. It has to be have an easier access. If I can have a thumb drive where I can just like plug it in and go, I want to buy certain amount of movie from this, put it into my thumb drive, and I can watch it. That's fine because like I have access to that. But it's a question of like it's the same thing of like piracy laws and all that bullshit again. It's always been the thing that they can't really do because it's very hard to do because like we have like as I've said beforehand, all of our general picks that are on Amazon and shit, I've always bought them. I've never rented them. I always buy them because like I feel like it's a good like film library to have because like I can like go back and go, oh yeah, I picked this film, Rob picked this film, so-and-so picked this, and all that stuff, right? I can see what films that I've picked and chosen, and I can go back to them anytime I want. But I'm just very worried now with like digital media that someone's gonna go, you know what, the licensing expired. I'm gonna expunge the whole fucking library that Simon has saved on his thing that paid money for. And you can't complain about it. We won't even give you a refund because it's just no longer like licensed for the rights. I was like, well, fuck me, I could have just bought the fucking physical thing. But like,
Yeah,
that's annoying.
Isn't that what the PlayStation did or something, or one of the gamers? They literally took all the digital ones.
PlayStation had some sort of rights to Funimation, didn't they? And they're one of the main reasons why Funimation's going.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's something I read about it.
I think it's I think it started with one of the animation studios that work very close to Funimation. I think it's Studio Trigger. and Studio Bones. I think those are like part of like they're big part of the Funimation team, and they work very close with each other. But because they essentially the actual like animators from that studio and other stuff have like had problems, they're like, yeah, we can't do it anymore. It's kind of like with what happened with like Studio Madhouse before Studio Madhouse went like proper like independent and too big for a brand name to go, yeah, we don't really need you. We can make anything we really wanted to if we really want to, but we'll just take our time about it. So it's like a whole fucking like animation problem as well. That sucks. But I feel like I have a copy of Akira anyway. I feel like I could go into my brother's room and be like, dust off the shelf and be like, yeah, Akira, here we go.
Well, the copy of Akira I've got, Emmanuel bought me.
Oh, that's sweet. That's
nice.
So we can't.
Oh, nice.
But we're choosing Boogie Nights, right? Just to make sure that are we choosing Boogie Nights?
Yeah,
Boogie Nights.
Where's Boogie Nights playing?
Everywhere that's usual. But if you buy it on Apple, if you rent it on Apple TV, then I think you get special features with it. If that's your jam.
I just had to make sure. This is the one with Mark Wahlberg, yeah?
It is. It is the one with. It's the one that Mark Wahlberg, despite the awful things he's done in his personal life, said was his biggest regret.
I thought that was his mad career.
This is mad because it's supposed to be his best film, right?
In my opinion, it's by far his best film. But
and it's his biggest regret when he's done much other questionable things.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what those things are, but okay.
I mean,
we'll tell you about it next week.
Yeah, I mean, like regrets can be like very varying. It's like if he says, I've actually been to a certain island, but that would be a very big regret to do, right? That's a whole other situation. But I don't think it's part of that list.
Epstein Island.
Yeah, is it that one?
Oh right. Oh okay. I wasn't clued in on what you meant.
Who are you, John?
As soon as you said
no, Mark Wahlberg and his friends. Mark Wahlberg and his friends used to beat up black people for fun.
Yeah.
What the crap?
They killed one guy, and I think they blinded some Vietnamese guy as well. No. But apparently, this film was his biggest regret for some reason.
Whatever the fuck he did in his youth, it wasn't as bad as this film, allegedly.
I hope this film's really
maybe
bad.
he actually meant it was his biggest professional regret.
No, he's. Hang on, let me find the thing.
Fuck! Yeah, I realised I actually have a movie that he's in as well. Fuck.
Yeah. I have a few that he's in.
Yeah.
I thought the guy who played Flash was bad. No, Mark Wahlberg is just.
Well, Mark Wahlberg's a bit more dangerous because no one really knows about it.
Yeah, it sweeps under the rug a bit, which is quite right.
So this is the quote. He said, "I was sitting in front of a couple of thousand kids talking about and trying to encourage them to come back to their faith. And I was just saying that I hope that God has a sense of humour because I maybe made some decisions that might not be okay with him. I just always hope that God is a movie fan and forgiving because I've made some poor choices in my past. Boogie Nights is up there at the top of the list." And it's like, fuck me, that is not the thing that God is concerned about.
Right. He had to say on the top of my list, right? Because like it's like, I've done really heinous shit. Boogie Nights is one of them. Not the highest, but like it's up there. But like, you had to say on the top of my list. Fucking just he needs a better PR person than all that bullshit. Jesus Christ.
No, he just needs to be gone.
Yeah. He does.
I don't mean it in a way. Please don't talk to me.
I don't know, man.
I don't know enough about certain stuff, so I don't want to, Anyway, let me not dig myself into a hole.
Mark Wahlberg is an awful person, and he says stupid things. Is the conclusion.
Really, the
I guess I better not
movies
pick
that he's
Ted
in.
then.
What's that?
Well,
I better not pick Ted then.
well, Ted
look,
the movie is not
Oh,
great.
man.
Ted the TV show is actually kind of funny.
oh, I don't
I
believe
haven't
that.
watched the TV. I haven't seen the TV show yet, but I actually really enjoy the films just because
No, it's because like there's
being a
like
big Family Guy fan.
yeah, it's kind of like Family Guy when it's good because it's not making fun of other people. It's making fun of
Sorry.
itself.
Sorry, Family Guy when it's good.
Family Guy when it's okay.
Family Guy when it's
You've done
okay.
the same thing to Simon that you did to John.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It can be okay
Uh.
sometimes.
Can it? I'm not sure of that.
But yeah, but it makes fun of itself and not other people. So that is what the comedy from Ted, the TV series, is, and that's okay, yeah, sure, I'll give you a pass. So, in any case, I've like at least 2 Mark Wahlberg films, and I'm like annoyed about it now that you guys are like.
I wouldn't like. I mean, he's an actor, so like I wouldn't let it stop you picking films that he's in because it's like.
I mean, yeah, we picked
Main
Kevin
character.
Spacey films, haven't we? So
You
Like
fuck, that's true.
for me, it's always like if the shitty person involved in a film is like the writer or director, then that's where I kind of go like this is difficult because like it's their kind of like it's their
Okay.
voice that you're connecting with. But if it's an actor, it's just somebody doing a job. That's my stance on it.
Well, that's also a problem because I have a thing that was made by not a good person. It's just
Mate, I would love to pick Rosemary's Baby, but I can't get over Roman Polanski. Like,
To be honest,
I'm
Okay.
tempted to pick it just so we get out
That was a messed up film. No, I don't want to watch that film again anyway.
I've never seen it.
Don't look.
This is a very good film, but like once you know what Roman Polanski did, it's a bit like, oh, I'm connecting with that, and that's not good.
Yeah, yeah. Once you know that and you watch it, it's like some weird kind of creep out factor about it. It's just not right. It just doesn't fit right with me. I'm like, but
Yeah.
not in the normal kind of, oh, this film is creepy. It's like, no, he's done this and this ain't right.
Yeah.
And I also realised that we've really strayed from what our original call was about to this. So maybe we should just end the call there for now.
Fucking
Okay.
Mark Wahlberg. Nevertheless,
Uh,
very good film, Biggie Nights, I think.
Boogie Nights. Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights.
I might watch Rosemary's Baby during the week.
Oh,
Wow.
good luck.
It's a brilliant film, but yeah, just it's a bit icky. Same with Woody Allen, man. There's loads of Woody Allen films I'd love to pick, but then once you know he's doing questionable things with his stepdaughter, it's like maybe you're not quite as lovely as this film makes out.
I remember years ago, right? There was a Woody Allen film that came out, and I was like, oh, I can't be bothered with this. And you're like, you should definitely watch it. Woody Allen is amazing. And then,
He's a
and
very
then a couple of years later, it's like, I can't watch any more of his stuff.
but that's the thing though, because like his films are always about like they're essentially always about like a lonely man falling in love, and it's like, well, once you know that in real life he fell in love with his stepdaughter, it's like, fuck me.
Yeah, it's like a yeesh.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's
I mean,
And it's the same with Roman Polanski, because it's like Rosemary's Baby, like essentially it's a film about the devil, and then once you realise that Roman Polanski himself is, you know, pretty fucking evil, it's like, well, no wonder he
How
made such a
as
good
well.
film about the devil.
how old was his stepdaughter?
Oh, I don't know, but I mean, like she would have been like pre-teen when they met, which is bad enough, no matter how old she was when they fell in love.
The thing is, like, if she was
Be careful, Pat.
preteen when they met, then yeah, I could see the problem. But also, you got to think, it's not necessarily right, but it's not wrong either because they're not blood.
I don't know, mate. It is wrong.
Yeah, I said careful, Pat. You don't want to take
It's
advantage
one of
that
those.
thing.
It's on the
very
line.
wrong.
It's
No,
it's
it's
on the
very
line.
wrong.
Like,
it's not on the line.
It's very much on the line. It's not something I do personally,
No.
but I don't think I'm not
It's
going to
not.
pass
It's not
judgment.
incest, but it is grooming.
Yeah. Which,
Yeah,
Well,
that's why the
what-
preteen thing is important to bring up.
Yeah, the whole situation around how it happened and everything. It's very much effed up. Anyway,
yeah.
I didn't really like his films anyway, so that's fine.
I
Okay,
don't know. That's
Jesus.
fine.
I mean,
Oh,
alright.
fine in you not picking them.
Okay.
I would love to pick them. I think some of them are brilliant films, but yeah, it's too much.
It's too much.
We should
Good
have
night,
a
guys.
dodgy actor director around.
no.
I'm fine not doing that.
Yeah, I'm alright with skipping that one.
Yeah,
Good
Roman
night.
Polanski, Mark Wahlberg, Ezra Miller, George, what else we got? Kevin Spacey. Let's do all of them.
But to
But
be
yeah,
fair,
that-
you've picked like 3 Kevin Spacey films
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, if
And I
it's an
have more.
actor, I'm kind of like, well, you can swap out the actor for another actor. It's the same film. But if it's a writer or director, it's no. That's their thing.
Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah. Anyway, on a very random subject. Sorry. Is there any point bringing up this, or is it too late? I wanted to ask a random question if anyone knew about David Fincher. So recently, I keep hearing different actors talking about how it is to work with him, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know how they do it, but that's a whole nother thing. Wh- I kind of, we can talk about this next time, but I was just going over my head thinking, what was he trying to do with the girl in the dragon tattoo?
What do you mean?
Visually and acting wise, it was amazing. But there were certain kind of choices he made to kind of take away certain things that the original kind of really pushed. And it was like there were some strange choices and things he did that made a lot of people really not like the film. And I think it's one of the few times I've watched one of his films and just thought, I don't actually understand what he really saw or what he was trying to do here. And seeing other films, Zodiac and all sorts of others, it's like he's really good. But what happened here? And I don't know. This is not. We don't necessarily need to talk about it now. It's just randomly in my head.
Have you just watched it recently?
No, it's I remember it very, very well. I watched it many years ago, like when it first came out,
Right.
and I remember having he some some of the choices I were confused about. He purposely made it a really slow pace, like so slow that time felt like it was dragging. Which I was
Mention
like,
it to
okay,
John.
huh?
Don't mention it to John. That's the one thing that he moans about constantly.
Yeah. And I was just like, okay, I don't get this, but whatever. But it drags it in a way, not like where Alec was saying, like it's slow paced, but this stuff happened. It was slow paced, and then he would have it where not much was happening, and then you're just sitting there like, when is this going to end? And I really like the original, obviously the material, the story, what's going on. He took away like certain kind of, I guess character power from Lisbeth and certain things that she does. It makes the character seem a little bit weaker. Not on the whole, but just like one or two things. And then kind of makes the very climactic part in the film slightly anticlimactic in a way. Like he did it in a very purposeful way. And it's just like, why have you made all these very interesting choices? But like, I was like, there's reasons people walked out the film. A lot of people did not get along with the film. Like, there's many people who did, including you guys. Some of you like really liked it. But there was a lot of people who didn't. And even me who really liked a lot about it, I was like, why was this done? I just didn't get it. Maybe I need to look into it.
That's on your list, isn't it, Ben?
The remake.
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah. I definitely would like to, because I know we sort of talked about it when I pitched the original version.